What's up, guys? For those of you who do not know me, my name is Duff. I run the YouTube channel Walking the Plane, and I'm also active on Facebook in the Truther community, and I do live posts, and I'm very interactive with many of you guys, as you know. So today I'd like to just make a quick brief video on the terrible New Zealand attacks that occurred just a few days ago, and my take on them, as I know a lot of you guys have your own doubts and your own views, but I just want to maybe shed some light to you guys that may not really understand these weapon systems very well. And a lot of you guys, from what I've seen, are saying that all of this is fake. So I'm going to go over a few of these weapons that the attacker or that the murderer decided to use, and we're going to go from there. Alright guys, so the first thing I'm going to go over here is firearm safety. For those of you that are not very familiar with firearms, I want to say it 3 times. Firearm safety, firearm safety, firearm safety. Okay, that is the biggest component, commandments, if you will, firearm commandments, if you will, to operating a firearm. You need to know how to operate them properly, efficiently, but most importantly, safely. Okay, so before I even start tampering with these firearms, the first thing I want to go over with you guys real quick, I'm going to briefly go over the firearms part of it, of what the 2 of the firearms, what the attacker used. Then I'm going to go over the ammunition that it looked like he had used, and then I'm going to go over some of the tactile equipment, like the flashlight that he had used in the very beginning. So I'm going to check this firearm right here, make sure it is clear, or you guys would probably say empty if you're not used to firearms. So always check the firearm in a downward position if you're not, at all times, especially if you're around other people. Me personally, I'm in an upstairs enclosed environment. I'm not around anyone right now, so this is a very safe area for me to, if I needed to point it up or point it down, it's completely safe. So the first thing that you do, check to see if it's empty, make sure there's no magazine, okay, no cartridges in the chamber. So the way that this firearm works, all right, this particular one, it looked like the attacker used in the video, it's very similar to this, although this one does have a different foregrip. He had what you call it looked like a 15-inch Picatinny rail, which was almost like a free float rail, if you will, and you can use different types of attachments on it. But he used a 16-inch barrel, all right, and it looked like he had a flashlight attached to it as well, and I'll go over the flashlight here momentarily. So the first thing you guys need to know about these particular rifles, most of them fire 223 5.56 ammunition. It's a smaller round. It's almost about the size of a .22 caliber bullet, but it's got a substantially larger amount of powder behind it, okay? So these things are running about 1,800 to 2,200 feet per second, some of them more depending on how hot the cartridge is. So these things put out quite a bit of a blast, even though the bullet itself is pretty small. It can do some real damage, okay? One of the first things that I noticed in the video when he was firing at these people, close range, 5-6 feet, when these people were piled up in the corner, a lot of you guys were saying, oh, well, why were they already all piled up in the corner? Well, guys, you may not realize this, but when people panic, they do stupid things, very stupid things. And you have a fight or flight part of your brain when your adrenaline kicks in. If you think you're going to die, you're either going to fight or you're going to fly, or you're going to try to hide or get away. What these people did is they obviously tried to do what they could. Their brains obviously seized up and did not fully function properly, and they were just trying to figure out a way as a group of folks to hopefully not get shot. So what they did is they decided to all pile up in one corner, hoping that, 1, it was going to make them smaller, 2, that, some of them may have gotten shot, but, hopefully most of them didn't. And maybe the men surrounded the women, I don't know exactly. The media won't let us know. So that's my take on that particular part. But now back to the firearm. So you can break this firearm down pretty easily. Okay, I'm going to do that real quick for you guys. We've already cleared it. All right, so this is the takedown pin. It breaks apart like this right here. And you can take the entire upper off. We're not going to do that right now. It's pointless. So this right here is the charging handle. This right here is what you call the BCG or bolt carrier group, the gold thing here. This is actually a titanium style one. Most of them, like the one the attacker uses, is a nitrate type. All right. Down the chamber, you have your buffer tube, buffer spring, and basically what happens is, once I get this back, there we go, when you pop a magazine in, You rack it back, cartridge enters the chamber, okay? And the gas from that round each time blows back that BCG or bolt carrier group into your buffer tube, and then it swings back and pops in another round, okay? The particular firearm the guy had, I couldn't tell if it was full auto or not. Initially, my initial thoughts were that it was a binary trigger, which is you shoot a round when you pull the trigger. When you release the trigger, it releases a round as well, which is almost kind of like full automatic, especially if you're doing this right here. It is illegal. And my particular take is, I think that they may have been trying to go after that like they went after the bump stock a while back at the Las Vegas shooting. So that's my take on that particular part right there. So now we're going to move along. All right, guys, so for time's sake wise, I'm going to move along kind of quickly from here. I did break down the rifle for you guys, just kind of let you know how this rifle works and what it is. Next, I want to go over the shotgun that the gentleman used, or the psychotic piece of crap used, I should say, in the video. And real quick, I just want to mention, I don't understand why this is it would be necessary to take someone's life. I mean, who has the right to go in, and I don't want to get too choked up on this, man, but who has the right to take a life just because they believe something different from you? If they're not hurting you, I mean, I truly don't understand. And, you know, yeah, there is serious issues right now with invasions of other people into different countries and things of that nature, but to do this in this type of way so brutally is just so sickening and disgusting to me. It's beyond words. So without further ado, guys, we're going to talk about the 12 gauge shotgun that he used. Okay, he used this in the very beginning of the video. Now this is a pump shotgun. He actually used an automatic type, and I do apologize about the sound, guys. My microphone keeps hitting the firearms. But this is a 12 gauge, so remember, always keep your finger off the trigger, and remember firearm safety. So we're going to check the chamber. It is empty. Make sure we check the tube as well. It is empty as well. Okay, now this particular one is a tactical type shotgun, just like the gentleman or the jerk had in the video. Has an extended tube, so it holds extra shotgun cartridges or shotgun shells. And this particular shotgun has a optic on the top of it, and I don't believe he had an optic on his. I can't remember or not. But this is what he used in the very, very beginning of the video to mow down innocent victims. And it was certainly real, guys. I have seen many videos, unfortunately, that I cannot unsee in my earlier years of, you know, third world murders and things of that nature. And I can honestly say that this was real, guys. Okay, now whether it was staged and planned pre-time, or if this was already staged and planned beforehand, I'm almost certain it probably was. Unfortunately, just another reason for them to try to make another gun grab on us, okay? But those poor innocent souls most certainly got murdered, from what I could see. So going on a little bit quicker, a little bit further. So this is the ammunition. Actually, real quick, this is the ammunition that the AR-15 style rifle uses. It's a 223-556, as I spoke of earlier. Now, this particular rifle can use different type of cartridges depending on the barrel that you use. It can use 7.62 by 3.9. It can use 22 caliber, along with other couple of assortments of ammunition as well. So I'm going to pull one round out just so you guys can see. It's a fairly small bullet, okay, but it's got a lot of power behind it. These things travel at substantial speeds, which is why in the video, when you saw air hitting those bodies when he fired on them, okay, you're not going to see the hole, guys. You're not going to see blood spurt up immediately and all this other stuff. No. The blood will go out through the exit wound, if there is an exit wound, and there will be internal bleeding, and there will be external bleeding too, make no mistake. But somebody has clothes on or a jacket or a heavy shirt, it's going to be hard to see that blood immediately, especially on a camera that has fairly low quality, okay? So this is the 5.56 223 round that the psycho was using on innocent people. All right, put my dust cover back on. These are shotgun shells. Now I have dummy rounds that I practice here at the house. Okay, now this is a 12 gauge, and again, I don't know if that guy was using a 12 gauge or a 20 gauge shotgun, but he, I think he was using buckshot. I can't be certain. This is a military grade style 12 gauge buckshot shotgun shell. And this is a slug type shotgun shell, which is just one giant bullet essentially. And I don't know which ones he was using, but it does look like, from what I could tell, it looked like it was buckshot. And it was spraying. So we used that in the very beginning. Then he moved on to this particular rifle right here. And next I want to briefly go over the flashlight that he used as well. So we'll go over that now. Guys, at the end of the video, I will also be showing you guys a video of me firing a AR style rifle at the range, and you guys can kind of see for yourself what it looks like when cartridges eject from the upper, okay, or from the BCG. So what happens is they plop out or fly out pretty fast, okay? It is, you know, obviously you can see them, but in the video, a lot of you guys are saying, oh, they're, you know, they're disappearing, this, that, and the third. Guys, that video had, again, terrible quality, but in the original video, you couldn't really see where they were going, okay? The quality was bad. They could have hit the ground and rolled around. They could have landed in the dirt. They could have landed all sorts of other areas. And believe it or not, when at the end of a shooting day for me, when I go to try to pick up brass, which is the cartridge itself after the bullet's been ejected from it, it can be very difficult to find those little rascals. Okay, and you guys don't understand that if you haven't ever been shooting or if you don't fire or shoot often. I know from personal experiences, okay? So that's another reason why I think on behalf of this entire thing, it most certainly was real, okay, guys? And there's a lot to take in. There's a lot of different aspects of this particular event that we need to take into account. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. And the gentleman also had what seemed to be a camera. I couldn't tell if it was shoulder length or head length, but one thing I could most certainly tell is it looked like he wasn't even aiming through his optic. In fact, he wasn't acquiring targets at all through his optic, okay? He was literally just pointing and spraying. And from 5 or 6 feet, you know, or even 20 feet, it's not difficult to hit your target if you've been shooting before, but that does lead me to believe he was an amateur, as his particular optic was what you call an EOTech, okay? It's a very high-end optic. It's a holographic optic, and literally all you have to do is as long as it's dialed in or sighted in properly, zeroed in, if you will, you put that red dot where you want that bullet to go, and that's where that bullet's going to go. So it's very easy to acquire targets through one of those unless you're an amateur and you haven't been doing it very much, or you haven't had a lot of range time. So that's one of the reasons why I think that he may have been an amateur of sorts. So that's just one more thing. Now, guys, I want to go over the flashlight real quick. This is, he didn't use a pistol in it. I just have this here for this particular flashlight on my M&P there. So I actually have a tactical type flashlight on my rifle as well, but it's not charged up fully, so we're not going to use it for the time being. We're going to use the flashlight I have on my pistol. It is a tactical flashlight. It's a true 250 lumens, so it's extremely bright, as you guys can see, and it does have what people call the kryptonite mode or the flash mode, or you can also call it the strobe mode, okay, which is the technical term for it. But as you can see, that's what he used in the very beginning of the video. And you guys are like, oh, well, you know, it's all fake, it's all CGI. Look, guys, that is exactly, is this CGI? I don't think so, okay? So this is how you can obviously tell, one of the ways it's most certainly real, okay? And he used this for a good portion of that video. And I've had a couple of you guys send me, quite a few of you guys send me videos on what you think or why you think it's fake, and other people have tried to break down the video, and I've watched them all very thoroughly, and I've still come to this conclusion, okay? And it's just from me firing and shooting firearms for so long, and honestly seeing unfortunate deaths happen personally, that I know for a fact that those poor souls were most certainly murdered. So that's the video, guys. Here at the end, I'm going to show you a quick video, about 20-second, 30-second video of me firing an AR style rifle at the range, so you can kind of see for yourself what it looks like, you know, in real time, and you guys can kind of make your assessments from there. And please feel free to personal message me. You know, I really don't want to associate this video with my channel, but I'm still going to put it on my channel just so it's important that I think you guys see this from another perspective. Perspective of someone that knows firearms fairly well and uses firearms proficiently and safely. And if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please give me a shout. And you guys, you know, if you don't mind, please subscribe, like my channel, subscribe to it. It really helps me out, helps us get our truth out there. And even if we don't always agree, you know, that's okay. You know, the main point is let's get the truth out there in general, and let's wake people up. So I appreciate you guys watching, and remember, the peer to being cattle is over.
2A Candy Shop CQB-SP being test fired by my buddy here. Go ahead and give her a run.